All right, now that we've got the oil filter housing and that entire assembly, or that bracket with the oil cooler off, I wanted to show you guys why I think that anybody at all with a Mark 7 Golf, actually any of these EA 888 Gen 3, or maybe even any generation whatsoever, TSI, Volkswagen TSI engines that have a setup like this, when you are going in or having the water pump done, especially if you're 7,500, that many thousand miles or more, it's crazy to me not to change out the gasket that goes here, and also the one that connects that oil filter, the oil cooler, to the oil filter housing. You absolutely should change those. And the reason, and let's see, I'm trying to steady my light here, try and get it to, we got a lot of aluminum up here, so it doesn't actually want to stick. But take a look here at this passage and this passage. So that is literally just a coolant passage that just goes through the engine block, and that little nipple on the side of the oil cooler. So coolant flows through there, through the cooler baffles, while at the same time oil from the engine is coming out a couple of these holes and filling that thing and circulating oil, which is separated by those aluminum baffles, but you have so coolant on one side, oil on the other, and so the coolant just does a loop and runs around like this. But what you have happen is, for like right here, all you have separating coolant from oil is a little rubber gasket. And it is literally this gasket, which now I'm gonna take you over here. It is literally this gasket right here. So on my car, what I found was, let me see here. So yes, this passage here is supposed to only flow coolant. So you have coolant flowing in here, and you have coolant flowing back out here. What was happening in my case, and this is after I replaced the gasket, so I'm actually happy that I took this off, just because I'm still not happy with, you see the little kind of crud that was still there? Well, now after doing my cam cover seal, I have bought, based on some other videos that I watched, I've got some carbide scrapers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up the surface over there on the car a little bit better before I reassemble this, because this is a brand new gasket. But what had happened was this had just compressed enough, or it had gotten hard enough, or heat cycled or overheated enough that there was seepage of oil into this. And so what I saw when I took this off, not this time, but when I replaced the water pump, is I saw milkshake in here and I saw milkshake in here. And so I'm about to take this off, figure out what size torque they need. That might be a 40. Let's see, maybe 40, maybe a 45. 40 seems a little loose. It's a 45 for sure. So what I'm gonna do is try and just zip this off right now. Normally I wouldn't use this tool to do this, but this is already off the car. I'm gonna give this a try and see how it works. I know I torqued these back onto spec. Oh, nice. Not bad at all. it's very nice when, you know, this being off the car, just to use a tool like that instead of having to keep like a, I should be able to get them all the way. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and that one was already loose enough. So again, if you look here, take a look at that, right? And you can see, what can you see? Oh, dropped my screw. Okay, so I'm trying to think here. If this is up, okay, so just imagine, let me see what you can see real quick. I want to make sure I haven't moved this out of frame. Okay, so this side up against the block, right? Water pump nipple goes into here. Coolant goes in here. You can see that in these two passages, I believe, yeah, that these are supposed to be oil only, and then this one here, up here through this corner, that should be coolant only, and there should be no mixing whatsoever of the two. And what I don't like that I'm seeing here is just like there's just still sludge, there's still mud, right? All this is the same type of like caked up, like it literally just looks like mud. This is the residue that that I was seeing like saturating the heater core, and I think what the reason that you get that is from a chemical reaction from somebody mixing like improper types of coolant over time. That's the kind of stuff that can materialize. But anyways, the point that I'm just trying to get at is, if you're doing this job, if you're doing a water pump on a Mark 7, any kind of like Volkswagen or freaking Porsche Macan for that matter, any of these cars with this kind of engine, these gaskets, these L-ring gaskets, if you order them ahead of time from either Rock Auto, FCP Euro, they're like between like $3 and $8 to $10 at the most a piece. So you can buy both of these gaskets for under 20 bucks, and you can prevent, you know, oil getting into your cooling system or vice versa. And then you potentially misdiagnosing a head gasket issue or, anyways. So this should absolutely be like, everybody that does a water pump, take the couple extra minutes, take off the alternator, take off, you know, disconnect the AC, you know, the AC motor compressor thing, take it off, redo these gaskets, put it back on. You're right there. It doesn't add that much more. It's not that much more time and effort, and you can have the peace of mind that you should be good for, you know, another, you know, 50, 75, 80,000 miles, maybe as long as you have the car. So you absolutely want to do that. Anyway, I'm going to clean this gasket up. I'm going to clean that face up with my little carbide scraper, just so I can make sure that it adheres better. But in my case, the issue that I'm troubleshooting, while I do think that because of the mud that I saw in here, I do think that there was probably still some trapped in here, and that now is like recirculated through the rest of my cooling system. So I should have just swapped this, but in my case, it wasn't the actual cause of the problem. So I'm still hunting for either turbo or head gasket issue. So I'm still gonna have to do a lot more work, but I also wanted to show you what I meant earlier when I said that this aftermarket one, it's like the holes are different. then, you know, yeah, the holes are different on this one. So I'm gonna put this on. I'm just gonna kind of look at it, make sure. Yeah, I'm gonna install this new one just because I'm convinced there's, even though I think this one still functions, I don't think that I'll ever believe that all the mud and sludge, that I was able to get it out of it. So, or maybe I'll like do some stuff to like run a whole bunch through this, and maybe I'll keep it as like a backup or a spare or something. Once I'm satisfied, once I've really flushed it out really thoroughly. But in the meantime, I'm gonna put this Euro parts one on. It was like 75, 80 bucks. So anyway, this was a side quest, but this is gonna help everybody that has one of these cars, because this is must-do maintenance if you're doing a water pump, especially on a high mileage one.